How's it going, everyone? Liam Catterson here, and this is another edition of Dollhouse with episode number 2 called The Target. And yeah, as I said in the last episode, it was a very solid introduction to Dollhouse, bringing us with crazy concepts about what the main plot of this story is seemingly about, with further mystiques that will no doubt carry over throughout the series. But yeah, overall I thought the first episode was a solid introduction and brought up some really tantalizing ideas that were like crazy. And I'm really excited to be continuing the story, and yeah, I'm really excited. So yeah, why don't we just get into this? This is episode number 2 of Dollhouse. Let's go.
This looks like a jigsaw puzzle, and what he did to Samuelson.
Who?
Alpha. It appears we've had a composite event.
But he gets wiped after every engagement like all the rest.
Alpha.
Composite.
Can't. Shouldn't.
They won't wake up.
What?
Negative contact, continuing sweep.
Safe and sound. Otherwise, there will be additional costs.
That don't come
I'll keep
cheap.
it low key.
I mean, why not? You only live once, right? Well, if you're inactive, many times mentally.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a slip. There we go.
Oh God! Oh God! Look at your face.
Oh, that's not funny. You know how much trouble I'd be in if you went splat?
Yeah, my brothers would kill you.
His bank account just had a heart attack right there.
Race to the top.
Doesn't add up, does it?
Ballard, how you doing here?
Ah!
What doesn't add up?
Hey, you!
Why don't you give us the inside view on how this all leads to the dollhouse?
Holy shit, he
alternate plan.
looks
Why don't you just let us do our
like
job?
Captain Everett
Doesn't
Delaware
does it?
from Doctor Who. Like,
No,
literally.
No. Hey, Agent Ballard thinks we should investigate. Thanks for the tip. Why don't you just leave us to it and go find your pretty lady?
So,
I
like,
will.
Be careful.
Like-
Feel like she's pretty badass.
Carbon shaft,
true.
3-blade broadhead.
Damn.
Can't believe. No, but it seems like everyone's mocking him.
You proved you deserve to eat it. If it gets away, you proved it deserved to live. And you go hungry. Dad thought we all take too much for granted.
It's that
And
rules of nature vibe, isn't
I
it?
appreciate
The flank, right below the shoulders. Now just
Are you Katniss Everdeen or? Whoa!
anything you're not
Jesus!
I think that little thing I did with my
Well-
tongue could use some work.
The shot did hit the target in one aspect.
Shabby. Am I missing something? Richard?
You need to stop talking now and start running.
What?
I'll give you a 5-minute head start.
Oh!
And I'm coming after you.
Oh God!
After you stop.
Face.
Dr. Saunders is still recovering.
That's where she got
Same
those
guy who killed
scars.
She was more fortunate.
Carve up a man like this so fast?
It isn't, unless you've been imprinted with the necessary skills.
You telling me you
So
programmed one of
he-
your dolls to be Jack the Ripper?
Basically,
All I know is that Alpha accessed multiple imprints, personalities that should have been erased. And one of them did this, and slaughtered everyone around your girl before
multiple
pulling smoke and mirrors.
personalities. Move, Echo! No! Shit! Bloody Hawkeye there.
Satellite retask coming on. Not without a imprint.
So why not default them with ninja skills or whatever?
We tried that once.
That would be
And?
great.
Blood, screaming,
dying.
That wouldn't be great.
Alpha.
Ah.
I think I'd like to swim now.
You sure?
Yeah. Except for the gun pointed at my head.
Ooh! Ooh! Langton!
Buddy! Boyd!
Holy sh... That was badass! Not letting him phase him. Yeah! Choke him out! Snap his neck! No, we're not doing that far. Oh! Whedon shows a dead bodies in the closet.
You don't sound too good.
Oh no.
You didn't drink from a canteen in there, did you?
Yeah.
'Cause,
It's been drugged.
Everything's going to be all right.
Now that you're here.
Did it say that on the
Trust me.
script?
With my life.
So that like the initiation into the handler situation.
Hey, it's business. Don't take it personal, dude.
Don't take this yeah. Don't take this personal. God, I'm loving Langton. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad we're getting a bit of development on him as this is flashing back to Alpha.
Just got caught up with the wrong people. Either way, I'll keep looking until I find her.
What about the other actives though?
Like a girl.
Oh, she's head over heels for him. Aw. I would have some lasagna, but I don't like lasagna.
Now that you're here.
Here we go.
Stay close. I'm gonna get you.
Oh, Langton, no, 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 buddy, no, don't, no. Okay, this stick needs to just get thrown off the cliff now.
Do you trust me?
All reverberates.
With my life.
Oh.
You know how to use this?
4 brothers. None of them Democrats. I'm gonna shoot you with the gun my buddy gave me. You're playing my game now. Toss the bow and get on your knees.
The
or I blow
hunter's
your
gonna
freaking
become
head
the
off.
hunted.
My dad would have really liked you. I'm still gonna kill you.
Oh! How about no, buddy?
I just wanted to make a difference.
Hey, baby, a little piece of advice.
This can just be passed
Go
off
on,
as
take that, won't
basic
you find it? You should really turn off
hallucinations, but there's a deeper. Oh,
Is this the best date ever or what?
I mean, it could be worse.
2.
3.
Yeah, yeah, I told you. Ooh. Okay, since when did this become Arrow with the? Okay, kill him, kill him, kill him.
I try to be my best.
Ooh. Yeah.
Right about you. You really are special.
What are you talking about?
Ooh.
Shoulder to the wheel, baby. Shoulder to the wheel.
So what is he connected to Alpha's? I I can see the fatherly figure thing going on here.
Did I fall asleep?
So does she keep echoing that?
For a little while.
Hey, that's my line, Topher's saying internally.
Alpha,
That's
Bingo.
impossible.
isn't that what we do here?
The impossible,
impossible.
yeah,
Alpha is
basically.
dead after what he did. They tracked him down and put a bullet in his brain.
So you want to
They'd
believe?
never lie to us about something like that.
Yeah, there's nobody in there.
This guy. So, and she's retained that as well. That sign as well. So, more concerning, on top of the memory leakages she had. Which goes back to the hallucinations that I said she was having. You know, you can pass that off as your basic hallucinations, but it's something more, as evident in the last episode. So yeah, but that guy does. He presses my cider, so like he presses my cider quite a bit. So yeah, that was a really stellar episode for Dollhouse. And this one was way intense, with a lot of interesting stuff happening, especially with Richard and Echo. That was a very tense situation. Even if you had a feeling that Echo was going to survive this, because she seems to be the main character, especially with her own story that's going on that's hidden from Dollhouse with the memory slippages. It was still pretty insane and tense, and it was great to have Echo, the innocent party, and a psychotic madman like Richard just goading at Echo and taunting her and giving her this wild chase. It was absolutely sinister, and I really loved it in some sense, especially when he had that quote about the prey being in the position to prove their worth, like if they deserve to die or if they justify their survival. So yeah, I really loved how that was put into practice, and it gave off this tense showdown between Echo and Richard. But also we got to find out more about him. Like Richard was not Richard; it was a fake personification that was given to him by what seems to be Alpha, who we get the implication from Dr. Sanders that he's dead, but is he though? Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely not dead, especially if we've seen it, like, because he did send the picture to that FBI guy that we saw in the last episode. So he must, yeah, we saw him at the end of the episode when he was obsessing over Echo, which we'll get to in a minute on the TV. But yeah, with Dr. Sanders, don't worry, Alpha's dead. Is he though? So yeah. But it was still pretty tense for the showdown, especially in an environment that Richard and Echo were like they were surrounded by. It's one of those scenarios that you don't want to be in when you're in some kind of chase. So yeah, and it was pretty insane. Like I said, especially with a psychotic persona like Richard. But yeah, we got a lot of development as well with Alpha as well. Like, since he was teased in the last episode with that file glance, and then him and like sitting naked, watching Echo on the TV. We got a lot of Alpha in this episode without giving away too much, which I really liked. Like a lot of I'm sure a lot of us at the end of episode 1 is like, "Oh, I'm so interested to find out about Alpha," and then the next episode you get a ton of information about him, but you're still left in mystique about about his situation, about why he, most importantly, why he's obsessed with Echo, because we saw that in the last episode, but we saw that in this episode when he kept Echo alive, compared to the other actives that were killed, as well as the handler for Echo. So I really, really love the mystique that still goes on, whilst we know a lot more about Alpha in this case, in this situation, like how scary and sinister he was with these precision cuts that he inflicted on his victims, with the massacre that happened at Dollhouse, with the fact that he had multiple personalities as well, which is kind of reminiscent to this dangerous Time Lord in Doctor Who, which you still got to check out in terms of the Big Finish audios. But there's like this Time Lord that is commonly referred to as the 11, but he goes by his other incarnation. So in his 10th incarnation, he's called the 10, the 9, yeah. So yeah, but he had multiple incarnations talking to him, because the Time Lord will have different personalities, and he had all of these incarnations in his head, like talking to him, as if they were still alive in a sense. And he is supposedly pretty dangerous as well. So it's kind of bringing me reminiscence of that, with Alpha being composited of multiple personalities and him being a very, very dangerous, a dangerous component in Dollhouse's eyes. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, we got a lot answered with Alpha, but we've still got questions up there regarding his regarding Alpha as a whole. But we also got to find out about Dr. Saunders as well, like how she got those scars. Yeah, because I said it in the last episode, I'm sure, about, I want to find out how this doctor got these scars, and lo and behold, we got that answered, thanks to Alpha, as well as how Langton became a part in Echo's life, which ties in pretty neatly. Like Alpha's massacre led to Langton's arrival, so that was really, really neatly told, in my opinion. So yeah. But yeah, it was great finding out about Alpha, seemingly implying that the multiple personalities drove him to insanity, and that he's still out there, seemingly, even though Dr. Saunders is like, he's dead. He ain't. So yeah, and how he connected to Richard in what seemed to be like, what seems to imply that this guy is just psychotic. The plot thickens with the fact that he's tied to Alpha. And I'm wondering if that fake sheriff also got contacted by Alpha, because at first I thought it was, okay, it's Richard that contacted him. He needed the assistance. But what if it was, I'm now wondering if it is all down to Alpha now, if Richard got contacted by him. So, yeah. Because like I said, at first I thought, okay, Richard contacted him, have a bit of assistance, but now, yeah. But yeah, let's go to Langton, because bloody hell, he was bloody impressive in this episode, and I absolutely enjoyed his company, not just with how badass he was against that sheriff and whatnot, but also we got a lot of development on his story and how he became intertwined with Echo's life. As well as, well, I'll get to more about Dollhouse in a minute, but yeah, Langton was, like, seeing how he was introduced into Dollhouse was really, really great, because we know him to be this guy who is pretty skeptical with Dollhouse, but he's there. He's this replacement for Echo's previous handler. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, he should be concerned with Dollhouse, because what they do is unethical, and they'll brush up some excuse to cover their actions. But in fairness, as long as the money comes their way, it doesn't matter how stingy their actions are, they can coat it as whatever they want, but they're still unethical. But as long as they get the money, that's all that matters in the end, in my eyes, because they can put their actives, they can assign them to whatever they want, And as long as they get the money, it won't matter because they won't remember it, which is the scary thing, isn't it? Although there is, in all fairness, though, to be fair, there is that concern, but they don't want to. I think it's more due to the fact that Miss DeWitt wants these actives alive. So yeah, well, she did say don't put a scratch on her, which I said in the in I'm sure the extended reaction, but Richard unintentionally got a good loophole out of that because he had every intent on putting Echo through the ringer, even though Miss DeWitt said, "You do this, and there'll be more payments coming out of your bank." So, given the bit of a quaking the fear in his boots there, but that didn't stop him from giving Echo the chase. And then he died, so he found a loophole out of that threat in a sense, but I'm sure she'll probably put the onus on his family, maybe. Well, if she can locate it, because he used a fake persona, so yeah. But yeah, they're still unethical at the end of the day, and you have people like Topher who's very enthusiastic about this, about doing this, despite the fact that you have people like Langton who's like, so yeah. So maybe not as extreme as in they can put their actives through whatever they want, but it's still unethical what they do, especially when you go back to the fact that their default minds is basically a child. And it makes you wonder, like, what did they do with their original, like, personalities? Like, Echo, before she became wound up with Dollhouse. What did they do with like Echo before she joined Dollhouse? Like, I'm sure they put it in a space, in a special depository, because I know they have drives to collect the active's recent encounters and whatnot. Like Topher pulled out when Echo returned from her date with Matt. So I'm wondering if there's a special place for their original mindsets. But it's still pretty scary, and it's still pretty crude to see that the default mind of an active is that of a child, basically. So yeah, it's pretty it is pretty scary stuff, isn't it? But yeah, going back to Langton, yeah, he was very incredible. It was great to see development on him and how he wound up at Dollhouse, as well as his connection with Echo. We had that special ritual, I guess, to bond both the handler and the active. So I really enjoyed that aspect when that was the beginning of Langton's like how much Langton will mean to Echo. So it was very sincere and very heartfelt. But not just that though. I'm kind of getting, and of course this is deliberate, I feel, because of the effect, like it's kind of echoing, I guess you could say, from other Whedon shows, but I'm kind of getting a similar relationship with Langton and Echo to that of Giles and Buffy's relationship. Because, in a sense, they are both in need of father figures, even though of father figures for certain cases. Like Buffy doesn't have her father around because of the divorce between Joyce and her father. So Giles is effectively the father figure looking out for Buffy as she's doing her slave duties. Langton is there for Echo because Echo's default mindset is that of a child, like I said. So a child needs a parent, and that is Langton, if Langton is the handler, as well as the way he was comforting Echo after the whole situation regarding Richard. So yeah, I am getting a father figure vibe from Langton to Echo. So yeah, but it was great to develop on Echo, and it was great to also touch up upon the FBI, because we had that one guy who received that photo from Alpha, who's hell-bent on proving Dollhouse's existence, but everyone else in the FBI mocked him to death from it, especially Mark Shepard, who was a really, really nice surprise, but then again, he was in Firefly as well. But yeah, it was still great to see his presence. It kind of did remind me of Canton Everett Delaware the Third, with the dress sense and his appearance. And it wouldn't be that far off because I think Dollhouse was created in like 2009 or something. So about a year, well, 2 years, really, before they filmed Day of the Moon and The Impossible Astronaut. I wish we got to see more of Canton Everett Delaware, actually. I feel like he should have been utilized more. I'm rambling on to Doctor Who now, but no, it was great to touch up upon the FBI and Agent Bollard, I think it was. Yeah, he was the one who's like, Dollhouse real, and everyone's like, yeah, right. So, yeah, and I liked that scene where he had one of his neighbors offer him lasagna, because I think it adds a bit more world to Bollard, because at the minute, all we know about him is he's obsessed with proving Dollhouse's existence, and now he is so focused and hell-bent on tracing Echo. So, yeah. But it was still a pretty stellar episode. Very intense, very scary for Echo, but it was really good to develop on Langton and how badass he was. But yeah, it was a pretty solid episode. I really appreciated that so much. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!